Okay, first of all, I'm going to go through this setup, and after that I'm going to install Nexus Dashboard on even in ESX actually. I have Eve topology in here. I can install Nexus Dashboard inside my EVE-NG. I have downloaded the QCA and I have entered it here, but this is the older version. If I just go to here, you can see that the version that I have here is 9.3.0.1. Actually, this is the kind of not new, so new. The version that I'm using right now on ESX, that's in OVA that I have downloaded from Cisco website, it's 3.2, which is newer. And there are some differences. For example, in here, in the older version, what you need to do is to download some modules for that. For example, if you want to have Fabric Controller or Orchestrator, you have to download them and then activate them on here. But in this version, Orchestrator and let's say Fabric Controller are by default in the image. I have 2 bit switches here. One of them is for NAT network, which has the IP address range of 192.168.100, and the other one is the host only network that I have here, which is in 10.10.200. You can see that there are 2 port groups. Host only is connected to host only port group, and this vSwitch is connected to VMNAT port group. I can change the name, of course. That would be a better name if I just change it. Let me just see if this has the ability to change the name. Yes, it has. Okay, so this is going to be the NAT port group, and the other one is going to be a host only port group. Now, the host only port group is connected to a host only network, and I'm going to use this for data network in Nexus Dashboard. This one, the NAT port group, I'm going to connect it to the management network, and that's going to be used for onboarding the or say staging the devices that I have in my network. Okay, this management network in the topology, you can see that it is connected to almost every device that I have in my network. Every switch that I have here, Nexus switches, all of them have a management port, which is a management VRF, and they are connected to this management switch. All of them are in the range of 192.168.100. For this is 21, that's going to end up in 21. This one is going to end up at 22. This one 11, 12, and 13. So these are the IP addresses for the management interfaces that I have. For Nexus Dashboard, I'm going to number 201 for the last octet. Now, like I said, I'm going to speak about this EV topology later, but right now I'm going to import this OVA and create the virtual machine. Let me just close this one. I'm going to go to virtual machines here, and then I'm going to click on create register VM. Here I'm going to select OVA and click on next. Then I'm going to give it a name, VMND_1. And then I'm going to select the OVA file here. Like I said, 3.2.1 is downloaded, and I can just click on open. If you import it in some other platform, you might see some problem with the hash key, MD5 hash. Then you need to extract it and use the OVA file to import it. But anyway, I'm just going to click on OK, open. Click on next. This is the data store that I have, something like 500 gigs, which I'm going to use this. Click on OK. Then for management, like I said, I'm going to use NAT network. I changed this, but I needed to restart the server so that you can see the new name. That's okay. I can just understand it. For the Fabric 0, I'm going to select host only. Now, these are the 2 networks. This one is going to go for management. This one is going to go for data. Then I'm going to deploy app. I can use data, but this is going to ask for more resources, and I don't really need so much features. This is going to ask me for 16 vCPUs and 64 gigs of RAM, which is okay. Then I'm using thin provisioning so that all the resources are not going to be allocated that. I can use power on automatically. I should just click on here so that I can make some changes before continuing. Click on next. This is the summary of what is happening. Then I'm going to click on finish. And at the bottom you can see the deployment process. It's going to take, I don't know, something like 15 minutes for me on this platform, but on your platform it might be much faster. I need to wait for this to complete, and after this has completed, I'm going to start the device and I'm going to go through the whole installation process. Okay, my virtual machine is right now finished its setup, and the reason that I didn't put a check next to power on was I needed to do some editing. Specifically, you saw me change the name of the port group, and when I do that, there are some inconsistencies that I had to check. Specifically, when I checked here, I saw the network adapter as one of them was showing the old name, and it wouldn't really change, it wouldn't really connect. So what I did was I just went to edit, I deleted these network cards, and then I clicked on add network adapter, and I added new network adapters, and one of them is connected to the management network, the other one is connected to the VMnet host only. This one is going to be selected for data, this one is going to be selected for management. So I'm going to click on save, and now I have my virtual machine in here. Okay, let's just start this and do some configuration on that. This is going to take some time, of course. When this comes up, it's going to, we need to wait for that. You can see that there is a countdown, and after that a series of stuff is going to be shown in here, and after that it's going to start asking you some questions. The questions, we need to be ready for them. Is the management IP address of this device, which I'm going to allocate 192.168.100.201 to this. Then it's going to ask for the gateway, which is going to be 2 for the last selected. And then it's going to ask me whether this is going to be the lead of the cluster. In my case, of course, this is going to be the lead of the cluster, but I don't have a cluster, really another cluster. But I'm just going to make sure that when I add a node, that's going to be part of the cluster later. Because if I say no, this is going to be a standalone kind of Nexus dashboard. I would say this is not going to, we cannot really have a secondary node for that as well. So this is going to be the only node in my network. But here I want to have a cluster. Normally a cluster is going to consist of 3 devices, 3 Nexus dashboards, and then you can add some secondary devices to this cluster later. They are going to act as a standby, and in case one of these go down, one of them is going to come up. And specifically because you don't have to pay for the license, that's going to be okay for that. Per my knowledge, this is a free for the basic, of course, modules. You don't have to pay for this. But anyway, this is going to take some time. I'm just going to wait for this, and then after some time I'm going to give it an address, and later I can just connect to this using SSH. And SSH is going to be enabled. You can see that it is going to give you the message that SSH is enabled on this, and also SSH is enabled because we need to connect to this using web browser, using HTTPS. So anyway, I need to wait for this. This is going to take some time, and after this has got to the place that it starts asking me some questions, I'm going to continue, which I believe it's not going to be so far from now. Okay, it took me something like 9 minutes, 10 minutes to get to here. It says that press any key to run first boot setup, so I'm going to hit enter. Okay, it's going to ask me for admin password, and I'm going to say Cisco123 with capital C, re-enter it here. And you should be very careful. The username is admin, and in the first boot, of course, it's not going to ask you for the username, but later you have to put the username in there. So IP address or mask for management network is going to be 192.168.100.201/24, and then I'm going to enter the gateway, which is 102, and then it's going to ask me whether this is the lead of the cluster. I'm going to say yes. And then, do you want to re-enter the configuration? No. I'm sure that the configuration is okay. But be very careful about this, because if you say no and then you had some mistake in the configuration, it's going to be very hard to fix it. Okay, now system configuration is going to take effect, and it's going to reboot the system, and after that it's going to come up. When it comes up, it's going to show you kind of a banner thing that is created with hashtags, and it says Nexus Dashboard. When you see that, everything is normal, and it's going to give you this IP address, and it's going to say you can connect to GUI, connect using GUI to Nexus Dashboard using this address on HTTPS, and then you can start working with for the basic configuration of Nexus Dashboard. That is what we are going to do after the system boot is completed. Okay, so installation has kind of finished, and it's now telling us to we are able to connect using, let me just go with this IP address that we have set for this. And this text up here, it reads Nexus Dashboard, but of course it's not so obvious. If I just increase the size of this is not going to be visible, as a matter of fact. So if I just say, okay, it doesn't really show up, but I should say that this is kind of Nexus Dashboard. Anyway, it says that I am able to connect to that. So what I'm going to do is to go to here and connect to 192.168.100.201. It takes me to this page, and I'm going to, because I don't have any certificate installed on that, this is going to show me this page. I'm going to click on Advanced and then accept the risk and continue. Based on the browser, of course, you are going to see some different texts. So here I'm going to go for the password, and I'm going to say the password is Cisco123 with capital C. This is what I set during my initial setup. So I'm going to click on Login. Here it's going to ask me for some information for the Nexus Dashboard cluster. Also, I'm going to go with the cluster name. So let's say that the name is going to be cluster-1. And for DNS provider, I have this topology here, and I'm going to use this for NTP because I already have set up NTP on this switch. But for DNS, I'm going to use Google DNS, which is 8888. And because my network is NAT, it has some connectivity to the internet, and I can just use this. So I'm just going to click on this little check here. And for NTP, I'm going to go with 192.168.100.254. So I'm going to put a check next to this. Okay. So just want to make sure. Let's just go to console of the switch and say show IP interface brief. Okay, that is the IP address that I just set. And if I just say 192.168.100.201, can I ping it? You can see that there is reachability. Okay, so I am going to go down, and here it says that you should set up your proxy. I don't have a proxy in my network because this is a lab environment and I don't really need to set up anything. So I'm just going to say skip proxy, and then I'm going to confirm it. For advanced setting, I can just set up some stuff like app network and service network. I'm not going to touch these IP address ranges. This is automatically selected, and that's okay. And I'm just going to click on Next. Next is going to ask me for node details. That is the detail that I have. Management network is connected to Nexus Dashboard, and data network is on the other side. And you can see that the node information is not complete. I need to add some more information. This is the node that I'm right now on it. But because this is going to be the lead of a cluster, I can just click on Add Node and add another Nexus Dashboard installation, and then continue. But right now it says this rectangle, this triangle says that incomplete node details. So I'm just going to click on here. You can see the data network information, and also the name of this Nexus Dashboard is not complete. So I'm just going to click on this edit button. The name of this device is going to be ND-1, and then the type is primary. I can just go with secondary or standby. I'm not going to select this because this is the first one, so it has to be primary. The IP address is automatically filled in. So for the data network, like I said, I'm connected to 10.10.200 network. I'm going to say the IP address is 10.10.200.201/24. That's the IP address. And gateway for this network is 10.10.201. Just to make sure, let's just go to here and see it. This is going to be my VMnet1, and the IP address is 10.10.201. That is the network which I am using right now. Okay, so for VLAN, I can just add a VLAN address here, but that's optional, so I'm not going to touch it. So I'm just going to click on Save. This part is very important. Very important. So you can see that now the information is complete, and I can click on Next. The deployment mode, you can see that we have Fabric Controller and Orchestrator here. Optionally, we can select them. I'm going to select Fabric Controller. But in previous versions, like the one that I have in my Eve, we didn't have such options. It would go with the base installation of Nexus Dashboard, and you had to download it from Cisco DC App Center. You needed to go to here, the Cisco DC App Center. Then you would need to download, for example, Fabric Controller from here or Orchestrator up here, and then you would add it to the Nexus Dashboard. Of course, you could download it from inside Nexus Dashboard or from this website like I did before. If I just want to show you, you can see that. That is here, this file, Cisco NDFC. That is for version 12. That is the latest version of Cisco NDFC that I had downloaded. And then I would upload it to my Nexus Dashboard. But here you can see that NDFC is here by default. Do I want to have any persistent IP services or pools? I can click on here and say, for example, for management service IPs, I can add a management service IPs, or for data, I can add some service IPs. But this is optional for now. Service IPs must be in the same subnet as the network where deployed. So I'm just going to say 192.168.100/24. I don't need, of course, /24. And then I'm going to put a check next to this. And for data, I'm going to say 10.10.200.0. So I'm just going to say this. This is the address pool that I have in here. So I'm just going to click on Save. So Fabric Controller is selected. I'm going to click on Next. That's going to give me a summary of the information that I have. Then I'm going to click on Next and Continue. And then this is going to go through the process of installation. And after that, it's going to take some time, but you are going to see a roadmap. And after the roadmap, your cluster is going to come up. You should see that your cluster is healthy. We are going to check that later, but I'm just going to wait for this. You can see that right now it is just giving me these 3 dots, which means I need to wait for this. And this is going to go through the installation process. You see that? Okay, so it asks me for the password one more time. So hit enter, and this takes me here. It's going to then, after, I guess it is going to get to 30%. After that, again, it's going to log you out. After that, you're going to use your username and password instead of just password to log into here. That's going to take some time, I guess something like half an hour or maybe a little less. And then it's going to finish the installation. I'm going to wait for this to finish and then continue. Okay, you can see that this has rebooted. I'm going to type admin in Cisco 123, hit enter, and I'm going to say don't show on logon, and show meet Nexus Dashboard on logon. That's okay. Do not show this. So I'm just going to click on it. Okay, now you can see that this is doing its thing, but I am taken to this overview on the journey. I can click on platform view. You can see that the cluster is healthy. This is working just fine. But before this, I can just go through the journey, and this is not necessary, but I'm just taking a look at that. On the right, it says that I have just gone 50% inside that. You can see that the cluster has come up. The add fabric, I'm going to add it later, but I can just go through that, and then it's going to give me the platform view, and finally it's going to say you're all set. But if I just go to platform view, as you can see, this is working just fine. One service is up. If I just click on that, you can see the Fabric Controller is enabled and healthy. And I can just go to here and disable it or restart it, but right now this is okay. I just click on overview, and the next thing that I'm going to do is going to be to add the fabric. I'm going to do this later, but for now that's going to be okay. I'm just going to continue in the next video.